Welcome to the episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to be recapping the Anonymous episode 8. This is my second time at this. Yesterday, I did post my episode recap as I do each and every week right here on the 11 Reality Podcast, but for some reason, the audio did not take, so we are back. This might be a more condensed version of my recaps as we see weekly, but I'm just going to break it down, give you the details from this past week's episode, because I know some of you watched the recaps to find out what went down before watching it the following week on Peacock. Without further ado, let me pull up my chart here of who is left on the show. So far eliminated: Robbie, Cassie, Tyrena, Sydney, Xavier, and Wayne. Before we left off last week's episode, we saw Marcel was going to be eliminated. However, he had a box that he was either safe or at risk. So whoever won the Anonymous picked Marcel to be eliminated, but now we find out that his box was in fact for the third time in a row safe. So safe. Marcel was not going home this week, which was crazy to see unfold. And Nina won the Anonymous for the very first time, but kind of wasted it swinging at Marcel, which to me did not make a whole lot of sense to go after Marcel here. This was one of the first decisions, I think, that actually questioned what Nina was actually doing here. Because to me, Marcel wasn't really a threat. He's a guy that's been on a block consistently over and over again. Why not swing at the fences here? So that being said, we know Marcel is safe. Nina was the Anonymous. You know what? Like I said, we're going to navigate through this episode a little bit quicker than I normally do. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes of the episode instead of giving you guys the appetizer of all the rundown of what happened. Just a few brief tidbits that happened throughout this episode. We see Jack continue to try to say that he wants to get rid of Victoria. And it's starting to rub people the wrong way. He's pitching it to Lily. Lily's starting to pick up on Jack's game playing. And then Lily kind of talks to Nina about saying she doesn't like the idea of keeping Chris around. However, we move on to our next competition where there's $8,000 at stake. Our next challenge, 8 of them will dress up as puzzle pieces, and one person will watch them basically on a board where they are watching them and guide them and have a 15-minute time limit to get them in order for the group to win $8,000, basically putting the puzzle pieces together. However, who's picked as captain will be safe from tonight's elimination. Marcel wants this really bad. 5 straight up for elimination. He wants this. However, Jack steps in front of Marcel and says Nina should be the person. So the group picks Nina. And to me, this was a wise decision. Obviously, Jack knows where Nina plays the game, where she comes from, how she's strategically playing. So understanding these kind of competition games from her time on Survivor, this should be a no-brainer for them to easily add $8,000 to the pot. 7 minutes into the competition, though, it did not look pretty. But nonetheless, Nina started grinding the gears, got the team together with 4 minutes left to spare. Nina slays the competition, adding the $8,000 to the pot, which does spark some hilarious conversation about who Robot is going to put up for elimination tonight, because Robot has put up Nina every single time since the digital handle refresh. Nina even says F you Robot, which was so funny. And post-competition, guess what? Jack is still pushing to get Victoria out of the game. As we walk into the controversial Anonymous mode, where things are going to start to get a little bit frisky, we head in there. Obviously, Jack is continuing to throw Victoria's name in there, but Jack adds flamingos. He says Victoria is using Christopher and thinks she has a man back home. That's one way to stir the damn pot. That is one way. Victoria tells the screen, no, sir. No, sir, I do not have a man back home. Vistifer is the nickname and says they are fake, which, again, that's an incredible nickname. Victoria, a.k.a. Cactus, says she's one of the girls need to be eliminated, which follows Lily, a.k.a. Robot, saying Bisma tonight, Nina tomorrow, which was fantastic. Like, Victoria set Lily up a softball, and she just knocked it out of the ballpark. I loved so much what she did here. just being able to just pick up on that so fast. Lily has become one of my favorite competitors in this game so far. Like, she went from what I thought was maybe even a weak competitor to now I feel like she's a front runner to win this entire thing. Popsicle, aka Dylan, says blank will be up for elimination, which which then Lily follows up with why not Jack? Which, I mean, let's be real. Lightning, aka Andy, says it would be great to see Jack up 2 nights in a row. Look at Andy making a little move. This is funny to me because Andy's either like just like coasting through the competition or he's really playing and we're not seeing a whole lot of it. But I feel like it's like a mixed bag of goods because even early on, Jack was targeting him with his digital handle. But then it was like, who cares? It's just, you know, Andy, he's not really going to do anything. But like, can he coast his way to a victory? That would be hilarious. Nina says my vote will be for Lily tonight. Not changing her gameplay, which is fire. I really like that. And then if Chris, who is Lipstick, says Lily or Bisma are gone. The chat is closed. We find out who votes for who. Here it is. Breakdown as follows. Flamingo, a.k.a. Jack votes for Victoria. Eagle, a.k.a. Bisma, votes for Christopher. Snake, a.k.a. Marcel, votes Bisma. Robot, a.k.a. Lily, follows through and says Bisma. Fire, a.k.a. Nina, votes Lily. Keeping that on track. Lipstick, a.k.a. Chris, votes Lily. Lightning, a.k.a. Andy, votes for himself. I like it. He's trying to throw the scent off of him because he wants to be the anonymous so bad, which if it works, it works. Good for him. However, we know all it takes is one vote for you to be eliminated. So that is a hell of a risk. Popsicle, a.k.a. Dylan, votes for Jack. There's that one little vote. And then Cactus, a.k.a. Victoria, votes for Marcel, marking the 6th straight time that Marcel is on the block. Victoria, Bisma, Jack, Marcel, Lily, Christopher, Andy are on the block with Nina and Dylan being safe. All right, it's test time. The following individuals are not the anonymous. Not the anonymous, all right? Number 1, Chris, Bisma, Marcel, Lily, Nina, Jack, or Dylan. They are not the anonymous, meaning it's either Andy or Victoria. Of course, we get the cliffhanger each and every week here. That being said, I predicted it would come down to Jack and Lily while I was watching. The following people are safe. Christopher, Andy, Victoria, and Marcel. It's down to Bisma, Jack, or Lily who's going to be eliminated. I think Jack's time is gone. I think it's time. Victoria is going to probably win the anonymous again. And if she does, Jack is gone. And to me, that would be insane. Like, Jack's demise will be studied for years to come. Because honestly, I did not see it coming. Like, he should have won this, or at least came close to winning this competition. That being said, who do you think is going to be eliminated from this week's episode of the upcoming The Anonymous episode 9? Folks, my top 3 competitors right now as we're sitting, I'm going to go Victoria, Lily, and Nina. Those are my top 3. Jack slid out of my top 3 right now. I'm going 3 ladies right now. Like I said, Victoria, Nina, Lily are my top 3. One of those 3 ladies is going to win this competition. Nina's sliding under the radar, but I think if Jack gets eliminated, Nina might become the next target. And if they do that, it would be very, very, very smart. That being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of the Love and Reality Podcast, where we're breaking down the anonymous. Folks, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We will be back next week. There was no elimination this week, so there's no exit interview, but I will be back next week with an exit interview. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys next week.